It's v.h.s.x. What do you mean?
All right, everybody, welcome back. We got another video suggested by one of you guys in the Discord community, so shout out to Cozy for suggesting this Instagram reel to be discussed. Now, this one is from EllyInVideoLand, and I have to say, like, I've seen a couple of videos about that she's posted before that I haven't really been able to discuss due to scheduling constraints. However, at least this one is able to be discussed. Let's go ahead and give it a listen. We'll talk about it. And the caption reads, licensed characters in major IP chapters are probably the biggest thing keeping Dead by Daylight alive, but DBD never would have gotten to this point without the content creators. For years, streamers, YouTubers, and community creators were the ones bringing in new players, keeping conversations going, and keeping interest in the game alive between updates. They would help build the audience that made all these massive collaborations possible. The weird part is that many creators now seem trapped in the cycle. Their audiences expect DBD, so branching out can hurt views. The game helped build their channels, and their channels help build the game. It's a relationship that's benefited both sides, but also created a situation where many creators feel tied to one game. What do you think keeps DBD alive in 2026? The IPs, the content creators, or the community itself? So right off the bat, I want to touch on what's being stated, obviously, in the caption, and Ellie here is 100% right. 100% right. This is exactly what I've been stating in previous videos, numerous times, going on rants about it. What Minskull's talking about, what Aeronad has talked about, where you are sort of stuck in this loop where you're constantly having to post the same slop, essentially, in order to keep the channel alive. And unfortunately, because of the way that it's so like cannibalistic with how it goes, because the DBD community in itself is very cannibalistic in that way, where regardless if you are advocating for the same thing or the same side or have the same views, it will still have somebody who will try to bring you down because you're saying it in a way they don't like. Believe it or not, it's this weird mind-boggling thing. And on the other side of the coin, you also get the other kinds of people that will continue to gaslight and misinform others. And because of their blatant ignorance and the person that's listening is ignorance, they will just never do their own research and never actually fact check anything that's being stated, despite the fact that certain people actually do provide facts and logic. And you can kind of take a note as to which side prefers to not actually use facts and logic and which side actually does, because we have seen this numerous times over the course of the DBD forums, the DBD Instagram, DBD Twitter, DBD forums, like, you know, whatever it may, DBD Reddit. Like, you already know that usually the most deranged and illogical people usually play a certain part of the game that's very casual and handheld. You don't got to really specify. You already know what I'm talking about. But besides that part, the fact of the matter is that the game has been alive because of the mere fact that the IPs were introduced. Like, literally, Michael Myers being the thing that brought the game, like, sort of any sort of popularity and any attention to the game was because of Halloween being added into the game. And ironically enough, now it's not even being sold anymore in the shop, or in Steam, or the PlayStation Store, or the Xbox, Microsoft Store, whatever the hell it's called. Like, it's not even being sold anymore. Only if you bought the character before he was removed are you able to play him now. So, I want to go ahead and give this clip a listen.
The game is literally a predator versus victims, so of course it's going to attract predator types and people with victim mentalities. Dead by Daylight has a chokehold on its player base and its content creators. The players are addicted with Stockholm Syndrome along with sunk cost fallacy, and the content creators feel like their money and viewership will run out if they stop talking about the game and move on to anything else.
100% accurate. It is an interesting, I mean, the first statement was kind of diabolical. I don't even know how I'm going to even begin to even touch on that other part. I don't know where that came from. The first half. The second part, yeah, that is kind of true. Victim mentalities, you see that constantly with the survivor community. constant victim mentality. They for whatever reason, everybody like in that community believes that they could do no wrong, that they are never toxic, that they never have a skill problem, that it's always the killer's fault, and stuff like that. The other part I don't know what I don't have context on that part, so I. But anywho, and then when it comes to the content creators, that's 100% accurate. On top of the fact that the players also have the sunk cost fallacy, because it's like, oh, I spent so much time on this game, I spent so much money in this game, so I gotta play. It's like at a certain point, it's like you have to kind of bite the bullet in that sense, or take the L and just be like, hey, I spent money on the game, fine, but that's it. You know what I mean? You don't have to spend anymore. You don't have to continue to dedicate hours to the game because you spent a couple bucks on a skin or a couple bucks on a chapter. Like you have to let that go. Because at the end of the day, you're still going to buy something else somewhere else. You're still going to load up a new game on Steam that, you know, because there'll be a sale and you'll buy it, or there'll be another game and you'll buy it, or another DLC for another game you like and you'll buy it, or something else. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it goes. You're going to end up buying something eventually at any point in your life. I don't think that you should hold on to that mentality like, oh, I bought these things on this game, I have to play it now. At the end of the day, if you played out the game and you got everything you could out of it, then I would say that that's it. You move on to your next. You don't have to buy every single thing, and you don't even have to buy the next thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have to let go of the mentality of the sunk cost fallacy in order to be able to grow and get out of this cesspool of a community and a cesspool of a game. You have to do it. However you want to go about doing that is up to you, but you have to do that. You have to.
Content creators won't admit this to you because the longer you're stuck addicted to Dead by Daylight, the longer they remain relevant. It's a codependent symbiotic relationship between the casual viewer and or DBD player and the DBD content creator.
Ellie's 100% right about that too. Now, the difference is with how I present my content with you guys and how I am sort of approaching this content in the first place is to try to open people's eyes and get people to understand that, like, this game is not for you. In the sense that the devs don't care about you if you like Killer. The devs don't care about you if you're a veteran player who bought a bunch of stuff. The devs do not care about you or your experience. They are only concerned with the amount of bread they can pull from a fresh install player who spent 20 plus on the game, and then an additional 5, 10, 15, 20 on whatever chapters they like, and then waste hours on the game to buy more skins on Survivor specifically, because you cannot play Killer because it's against the rules. So you have to specifically play Survivor to get the most amount of skins for the most amount of revenue. That is what they're shooting for. So I'm trying to tell you guys, especially because you can see the little block on the screen. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to tell you guys, like, honestly, me telling you all of this stuff is technically not even remotely beneficial to me, because if this channel that I'm posting to is DB related, and I'm saying do not play this game, I'm saying do not play DBD, that directly affects the channel in a way, right? Because I'm telling people not to engage with the game, therefore they might not even engage with the content, right? But that's where I defer, I would say, when it comes down to the other content creators that are doing that, at least from what is being stated in this clip. Is like, I'm trying to get people away from this. Like, I'm trying to get people out of it. And then in the process of doing that, we're working on other things and other games and other projects and other stuff like that are way more sort of fulfilling for everyone involved, because then you guys can learn about games that you probably never heard about, or you guys will hear about my experience trying a game that you've already known about and you've loved and I've never played before, on that other channel we have for video essays and stuff like that, and discussions and other things. And then we also have the Rivals channel, because I love Rivals, and I've been putting a lot of time into that game, so I'm trying to make videos for that so you guys can kind of just see my matches, basically. And maybe I'll put in some guides and discussions on there as well over time. But the fact of the matter is that Ellie's 100% right about this. And Ellie over here is also a content creator herself, right? So in a sense, pointing this out is almost like doing the opposite of what you should be doing, technically speaking, by sort of manipulating the addiction of the DVD players to benefit your analytics and audience and revenue, in a sense, right? And I think that's what the big creators are doing too, because why else would they continue to keep like saying, oh no, the game is fine, and oh no, just be grateful that we're getting this, despite the fact that we have the Walking Dead stream to look at, the patch notes we can look at, the current anniversary event to look at, all these things that are pointing in the direction of, look, you do not matter if you play killer, you do not matter if you have a lot of hours in the game, you do not matter if you are a veteran of the game. Even Survivor players are kind of getting affected by this, because they're making the game even more boring for them, for those Survivor players that actually enjoy a challenge. And then you got the greatest, the strongest slop enjoyer soldiers that defend this game tooth and nail, because they're just so blindingly obsessed with DVD slop that they can't not just can sit there and say, oh, I'm having fun, why aren't you having fun, stop complaining, instead of actually taking into account and listening to what people are talking about. And then they take their anecdotal evidence of, oh, I go against babies, so therefore everyone does, and apply that to everyone, and then wonder why everyone's complaining. Makes no sense. Let alone, we also saw in another post that we've actually seen previously that I've covered, who literally said killer is so easy, but they admitted to smurfing. They admitted to lowering their MMR on purpose for easier matches. But they want to tell everyone they're wrong for complaining about the game, but they want to see a better game. Make it make sense, bro. So I keep pointing this out with this community, man. It makes no sense.
But the common denominator is that all of the above, content creators, viewers, and players, all aim to benefit the devs and their game's relevance in the horror genre's social networking zeitgeist the most. So unless people stop being mindless consumers, the DBD devs will continue to laugh at your struggles all the way to the bank. The game...
I've been saying that since day one, I think. That's probably the best way to summarize it, is the fact that that's the more, you could say, eloquent way to describe it. I constantly say that it's slop addiction, but that's what it is, right? Ultimately, they're being blind consumers, paying for every little thing that comes out, playing every little thing that comes out, buying every little skin that comes out, and they continue to keep feeding into their wallets, and then all they got to do is just continuing to focus on the casual Survivor players and make a ton of money. But for some reason, these people don't realize that. They don't realize they're getting played. They don't realize that their experience is irrelevant, that they don't care about them. They just think that, oh my god, this game is so amazing, I get to play with friends all day. I'm like, you can literally play with your friends in any other video game on the market. You do not have to play DBD for this. People keep mixing that up. They keep thinking that it's DBD that's the fun part. No, it isn't. Even I had made that mistake, because I was like enjoying 2v8 at one point, but only because I wanted to play it as much as I could. But then I realized when my friends weren't around to play, when they weren't available to play it, and I tried to play on my own, I realized this game ain't fun at all. It's the experience of hanging out with your friends that is more valuable to you than actually playing the game itself. Notice that. Notice that. And I'm saying this because I feel like everybody is going to go through that at some point with this game. If you put in enough hours, eventually you're going to see it. I've seen it. Other people have seen it. People in the comment section have seen it. New players with 200 hours have seen it, as we've covered even in a Reddit post. Like, people are new to the game. Less than 1,000 hours. Like, we're talking like less than 500 hours. Already pointing out, like, yo, this is a double standard. This thing is happening. This issue is happening. These gens are too fast. These perks are too strong. This, that, and the third. That should be worthy of discussion. That should be worthy of something to pay attention to. So, that's the thing. Now, obviously, I can't really read the comments here because we can't see it. We can't see it, man. Now, I can't really read the comments, obviously, because I have to actually sign in, which I don't feel like doing. But I want to know what you guys think in the comment section about the topic at hand today. Do you agree or disagree with EllyInVideoLand? Do you agree or disagree with me talking about this? Let me know your thoughts, man, because this is really worthy of discussion. I think that this is something that a lot of content creators have been pointing out. The fact that IPs are pretty much keeping this game on life support. I mean, we can look at, like I've even said earlier, Halloween was a perfect example of that. That is one of the most important chapters that were ever added to the game, mind you. Ever since then, it was a chain reaction, and you got Freddy, then you got the Ghostface mask being added into the game in a rift with the scary movie mask and the other masks and stuff like that with the Fun World collab. You had you know, Pinhead and all these other characters coming in, and even now with Jason, notice like they know that IPs are going to give them the most bread, and we even seen like them breaking their own record even recently with Jason. IPs are the only thing keeping this game alive, because the players don't spike when you have Houndmaster or Knight or Skull Merchant or Singularity or Unknown. Like, they just don't do that. They just don't spike that hard because nobody cares. But the second you add a recognizable IP, you're going to see that, and it's not going to retain anything because there's nothing to retain. The game is ass, the balancing is terrible, the community is garbage. Like, what is there left to like, you know, cling on to in that sense, right? But anyway, check out the other channels, because we got a Rivals channel and a v.h.s.x channel that I'm working on. Pretty slow to upload at the moment, but we're gonna get there. Rivals channel's got a few videos up. You can watch those. Consider checking those out. Consider becoming a member on YouTube or Patreon for exclusive content and perks. I'll see you guys in the next one. Check out the Twitch as well. All right, let's go ahead and read off these wonderful members. We got Patreon, Crow Vader. All my YouTube members: Brando, Evil Blade, Cap Courteous, WTF You're Not JLo, Evil Peach, Hargan Falcon, Dole Whip, Noxus, Zero Mocker, Jack, Christian, and Crow Vader. Really appreciate you guys supporting, man. And if you also subbed on Twitch, just know that you got love coming your way too. Appreciate you guys, man.